Rescue of an overturned gigant Fliegel in Oravsky Vesele. During routine mowing work in Oravsky Vesele, an unexpected challenge arose when the ground conditions proved far wetter than anticipated. The soft, saturated soil caused a gigant Fliegel trailer wagon to sink into the terrain, ultimately leading to its overturning. What began as a standard agricultural task quickly turned into a recovery operation. The incident required careful coordination and the use of appropriate machinery to safely return the heavy trailer to its original position without causing further damage. Despite the difficult conditions, the recovery was successfully carried out, demonstrating both experience and quick problem-solving in the field. Situations like this highlight the importance of assessing terrain conditions, especially after periods of rain. Even familiar land can become hazardous, and proper caution is essential to avoid similar incidents in the future. The rescue unfolds in a harsh and unforgiving landscape, where nature tests both machine and human determination. A blue truck, heavily loaded with massive round logs, struggles helplessly against a muddy and treacherous road. Its wheels spin endlessly, sinking deeper into the thick, clinging mud with every attempt to move forward. The weight of its cargo only worsens the situation, turning the journey into a near impossible task. Just when the situation seems hopeless, a powerful tractor arrives, bringing with it a sense of relief and renewed possibility. The operators act with precision and experience, carefully assessing the danger before attaching a heavy chain between the two vehicles. Every movement is calculated, as one wrong pull could tip the balance and make things worse. The rescue begins slowly. The tractor exerts steady force, its engine roaring against the resistance of the mud. The truck responds inch by inch, its wheels gradually finding grip. The ground trembles under the strain, and the front of the truck lifts slightly as tension builds in the chain. It is not just a test of strength, but of coordination, patience, and trust between the operators. Together, they fight against the elements, refusing to give in. Finally, with one last powerful pull, the truck breaks free from the mud. What seemed impossible moments before becomes a victory, an inspiring reminder of teamwork and resilience in the face of nature's toughest challenges. The muddy terrain has turned into a stubborn trap, holding a Kamaz truck and its heavy trailer firmly in place. Its wheels spin helplessly, flinging thick clumps of mud but gaining no ground. The situation looks grim until an MTZ-82 tractor steps in to attempt the rescue. With a chain secured between the two vehicles, the tractor begins to pull. Almost immediately, the immense weight of the stuck truck becomes clear. The MTZ-82 strains under the pressure, its engine roaring as it fights for traction. Suddenly, the front of the tractor lifts off the ground, rearing up on its back wheels in a dramatic display of force. It's a tense moment. Too much power could break the connection, too little won't move the truck. The operator must carefully balance strength and control. Inch by inch, the Kamaz begins to shift. The mud resists, but the tractor refuses to give up. The outcome hangs in the balance. Will persistence win against the unforgiving terrain? The situation quickly turns challenging when a tractor becomes deeply trapped in thick, sticky mud. Its wheels spin helplessly, sinking further into the soft ground with each attempt to break free. The engine roars, but the mud refuses to let go. A second tractor soon arrives, bringing hope of a quick rescue. A chain is secured, and the two machines begin working together. Despite their combined strength, the trapped tractor barely moves. The mud clings tightly, resisting every pull, and making the task far more difficult than expected. Realizing that more effort is needed, 4 men step in to assist. They coordinate carefully, guiding the process and ensuring everything stays balanced and controlled. With everyone working together, the tension builds as both tractors apply steady force. Slowly but surely, the stuck tractor begins to shift. Inch by inch, it breaks free from the muddy grip. At last, with one final pull, the machine emerges from the dangerous terrain, a hard-earned victory made possible by teamwork and persistence. In the rural landscapes of Moldova, where unpaved roads can quickly turn into muddy traps, even the most powerful vehicles can find themselves in trouble. A Volvo semi-truck, body and fully loaded, sits immobilized in deep mud, its massive wheels spinning without grip. The more it struggles, the deeper it sinks, making escape nearly impossible. Recognizing the challenge, 2 MTZ tractors are brought in to attempt the rescue. Though smaller than the semi-truck, these tractors are known for their durability and strength in difficult terrain. Chains are carefully secured, linking both tractors to the stranded truck. The operators exchange signals, ensuring their movements are synchronized. Timing and coordination are critical in such a demanding situation. As the engines roar to life, the tractors begin to pull together. The tension builds in the chains, and the muddy ground resists with stubborn force. At first, nothing seems to happen. The Volvo remains stuck, as if anchored in place by the thick mud beneath it. But the drivers persist. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, the truck begins to shift. The combined effort of the 2 MTZ tractors starts to overcome the resistance. Inch by inch, the semi-truck emerges from the mud, its wheels finally finding traction. With one final coordinated pull, the Volvo breaks free. What once seemed like an impossible task becomes a testament to teamwork, persistence, and the reliability of these hard-working machines. In the end, it is not just about power, but about precision and cooperation in the face of nature's challenges. The swamp had already claimed its victim, a heavy Scania truck, stranded and sinking into the thick, unforgiving mud. Its wheels were buried deep, spinning uselessly as the engine The rugged terrain has proven too much for a Russian off-road vehicle, leaving it stranded and stuck fast in thick, unforgiving mud. Despite its design for harsh conditions, the ground beneath it gives way, swallowing its wheels and halting any forward progress. The engine revs, but the vehicle remains trapped, unable to break free on its own. Enter the K700 Kirovets tractor, a powerful machine built for extreme tasks. Towering and robust, it approaches the scene with purpose. A heavy-duty chain is secured between the tractor and the stranded vehicle, and the recovery operation begins. As the K700's engine roars to life, it pulls forward with immense strength. The mud resists, clinging tightly to the trapped vehicle as if unwilling to let it go. For a moment, nothing happens. The tension builds, and the chain stretches under the load. Then, slowly, the off-road vehicle begins to move. Inch by inch, it emerges from the mud's grip. The tractor maintains steady force, never rushing, never losing control. With one final powerful pull, the vehicle breaks free. The rescue is complete, a clear demonstration of raw power, patience, and determination. The Kirovets K700 is known for its immense power and ability to handle the toughest industrial tasks. In this case, it was part of a demanding operation, pulling a line of coal wagons while another tractor pushed from behind. The coordination required for such work is immense, and even the smallest mistake can lead to serious consequences. As the operation progressed, disaster struck. The front K700 suddenly lost control. In the chaos, it ran over the driver's leg, turning a difficult job into a dangerous emergency. Unable to regain stability, the massive machine continued forward uncontrollably, eventually plunging off the pier and crashing into the river below. The heavy tractor sank quickly beneath the surface, disappearing into the dark water along with the weight of the incident. What followed was not just a recovery effort, but a complex and hazardous underwater operation. A week later, professional divers were deployed to locate and secure the submerged Kirovets. Working in low visibility and challenging conditions, they carefully attached heavy-duty hooks to the tractor beneath the water. Every movement required precision and caution, as the risks remained high even during recovery. This incident is a stark reminder of the extreme conditions faced in heavy-duty work. It highlights not only the power of machines like the K700, but also the dangers that come with operating them in high-risk environments where control can be lost in an instant. The Kirovets K700 is a symbol of raw industrial power, designed to handle the most demanding tasks in harsh environments. In this intense operation, one K700 was pulling a line of heavy coal wagons, while another tractor pushed from behind, working together to move the massive load. Such coordination requires precision, communication, and complete control. However, in a moment, everything went wrong. The front tractor suddenly lost control. In the chaos, it ran over the driver's leg, turning a routine yet demanding job into a dangerous emergency. With no way to stop its momentum, the powerful machine continued forward, ultimately plunging off the edge of a pier and crashing into the river below. The massive tractor quickly disappeared beneath the surface, swallowed by the water, along with the weight of the accident. What followed was not only a recovery mission, but a test of skill and courage under extreme conditions. A week later, divers were sent down to locate the submerged K-700. Working in dark, cold, and low-visibility waters, they carefully secured heavy hooks to the tractor. Every movement had to be precise, as the risks underwater were just as serious as those above. This incident highlights the extreme conditions faced by workers operating heavy machinery. It serves as a powerful reminder that even the strongest machines demand respect, as the line between control and disaster can vanish in an instant. At Hart's Bridge, a tense recovery operation unfolds as a crane is slowly lifted from the water. The massive machine, once submerged and hidden beneath the surface, is carefully brought back into view. Heavy lifting equipment strains under the weight, cables pulled tight as the crane emerges inch by inch. Water pours off its metal frame, revealing the damage caused by its time underwater. Workers nearby watch closely, guiding the process with precision and caution. Every movement must be controlled to avoid further complications. The operation is a clear display of skill, coordination, and patience. Recovering such a large piece of equipment is never simple, especially in challenging conditions. Yet, through careful planning and teamwork, the crane is finally brought back to land. The agricultural recovery operation unfolds in a tense and muddy landscape, where a mobile crane has become dangerously stuck. Its heavy frame has sunk deep into the soft ground, and to make matters worse, it is leaning precariously toward a nearby ditch. One wrong movement could send the entire machine tipping over, turning a difficult situation into a costly disaster. Recognizing the urgency, two powerful tractors are brought in to assist. Positioned carefully on firmer ground, they are connected to the crane with strong chains. The operators understand the risk. This is not just about pulling, but about maintaining balance and control at every moment. As the engines roar to life, both tractors begin to pull in unison. The chains tighten and the crane shifts slightly, but the mud clings stubbornly to its wheels. The danger is constant. If one tractor pulls too hard or too fast, the crane could slide sideways into the ditch. Communication is key. The operators coordinate every movement, adjusting their force to keep the crane stable. Slowly, inch by inch, the machine begins to respond. The wheels struggle for traction, and the ground trembles under the combined effort. With patience and precision, the crane is gradually pulled away from the edge. The risk of tipping decreases as it moves onto more stable ground. Finally, after a long and careful effort, the crane is freed from the mud. What could have ended in disaster becomes a success, thanks to teamwork, skill, and careful execution in extremely challenging conditions. The scene is set for an unusual and exciting contest, a tug of war between tractors and humans. On one side, a group of determined people grips the rope tightly, feet planted firmly in the ground. On the other side, a powerful tractor waits, its engine rumbling with quiet confidence. At the signal, both sides pull with everything they have. The humans lean back in unison, muscles straining, their teamwork and rhythm clearly visible. Every step backward is carefully controlled, every movement synchronized to maximize their strength. Then, the tractor joins the battle. Its engine roars to life, tires digging into the ground as it begins to pull. The rope tightens instantly, and the balance shifts. The raw mechanical power is undeniable, but the humans refuse to give up. They dig deeper, pulling harder, determined to prove that coordination and willpower can stand against sheer force. For a moment, the rope barely moves. It becomes a true test of endurance. Man versus machine. The crowd watches in anticipation as both sides fight for control. Slowly, the tractor begins to gain ground, inch by inch. Despite the humans' best efforts, the steady, relentless pull of the machine proves too strong. In the end, the tractor wins, but the real victory lies in the spirit of competition, teamwork, and the thrill of taking on an impossible challenge. At first glance, the small tractor doesn't look like it could handle much. Compact and modest in size, it seems outmatched by the massive, multi-ton trailer attached behind it. But appearances can be deceiving. As the engine starts, the tractor begins to pull. There's no dramatic struggle, no excessive noise, just steady, controlled movement. Slowly, the heavy trailer rolls forward, as if its weight were far less than expected. The tractor maintains a smooth pace, its tires gripping the ground with surprising efficiency. What makes this moment remarkable is the contrast between size and performance. Despite its smaller build, the tractor demonstrates impressive power and balance. It highlights how engineering, traction, and proper weight distribution can make all the difference. In the end, the scene becomes a reminder that strength isn't always about size. Sometimes, it's about how effectively that strength is used. In a challenging recovery operation, two powerful fawn vehicles are brought in to pull a stranded truck. The truck, heavy and immobile, sits firmly stuck, its wheels unable to gain traction on the difficult terrain. Whether trapped in mud or weighed down by its load, it has no chance of moving on its own. The two fawn machines position themselves carefully, their strength lying not just in raw power but in coordination. Thick cables are secured, and the operators prepare for a synchronized pull. Every detail matters. Timing, balance, and steady force are essential to avoid causing further damage or losing control. As the engines roar to life, both vehicles begin pulling together. The cables tighten, and the tension builds. At first, the truck resists, refusing to budge. But the combined strength of the two fawn vehicles gradually overcomes the resistance. Slowly, the truck begins to move. Inch by inch, it is dragged free from its stuck position. The ground shakes under the strain as the recovery continues. Finally, with a powerful and coordinated effort, the truck is fully freed. The operation stands as a clear example of teamwork, precision, and the impressive capability of heavy-duty recovery vehicles. A routine emergency response turned into a dramatic hadith when a Südostjylland's fire department tanker truck, designated V12, overturned while rushing to a farm fire. The vehicle, carrying a large volume of water, was navigating quickly to reach the scene when something went wrong. Heavy tanker trucks are especially vulnerable to instability, particularly when traveling at speed or on uneven roads. The shifting weight of the water inside the tank can affect balance, making sudden turns or changes in direction extremely risky. In this case, the combination of urgency and road conditions led to a loss of control. The truck tipped over, coming to rest on its side and halting its mission instantly. What began as a response to one emergency quickly became another. Fellow responders had to redirect their focus, ensuring the safety of the crew and assessing the situation. Despite the severity of the hadith, such incidents highlight the challenges emergency services face every day. Responders must act quickly under pressure, often in unpredictable conditions where every second counts. This event serves as a reminder of the risks firefighters and rescue teams take, not only when confronting fires, but even while racing against time to reach them.